Hello, everybody. We are live once again this Wednesday. Today is a very interesting day, and so we're just going to jump right into it. We're talking today about expanding our capacity to receive. But I would be remiss if I didn't name this moment that we're in. And so we're like entering into this very powerful energetic threshold right now. There's so much going on cosmically. Like today, we have the new moon in Pisces. Later this week, Mercury is moving out of retrograde. The seasons are shifting, and we are approaching the beginning of a new astrological new year. So lots going on. So if you have been feeling the energy, if you've been feeling tired, maybe a little bit more subdued, that's the impact of the new moon in Pisces. And so moments like this are not only like symbolic, but they're like energetic invitations. And so it's a really potent time to be talking about expansion and expanding our capacity to receive. Not to mention, too, not to get too deep into the astrology, but I mean, it all matters. Jupiter is in Cancer, which is in its space of exaltation, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So a lot of that energy going on. But let's talk a little bit about Pisces. Like Pisces is the sign of surrender, of intuition, of emotional clearing, of spiritual renewing. And so it really asks us to like soften our grip on what has been and to become receptive to what is emerging. And so Andy, I don't know if you've been feeling that energy. I have definitely been feeling it. Even before I understood and could name it in the ways that I just did, I definitely have been feeling a shift. So how's your energy been?
It's funny that you bring that up. Yesterday, I was working with Amanda on her show, and she
Mhm.
was talking that Mercury in retrograde finally, like, is in the middle, almost finished, but
Yeah.
all sorts of crazy energy swings for a
Mhm.
lot of people is down, right? And it's funny that you're talking about today how it's turning up, and you're right. In the last week or so, even though when I felt like I had enough exercise, enough meditation, enough alone time, my rest just wasn't as good as it could be. You know what I'm saying? Because I track all my biometrics. It's like I'm getting enough sleep. I'm eating right. I'm sleeping at the right time. I'm working out. Yet the numbers didn't correlate. But in the last couple of days, it was like it was going down, going down, going down in the last 2 weeks. And in the last couple of days, it's like almost like a rocket ship going back up.
Yes.
No other changes. So, this is
Yeah.
great that you bring this up. To me, that is very fascinating.
Yes, and so with Mercury beginning to move forward, so Mercury comes out of retrograde on Friday. It signals kind of clarity returning. Any conversations that felt stalled will begin to move again. Decisions that felt cloudy could begin to settle. And so, one thing I love about Mercury retrograde, I know people really fear it and or they don't like it, but we
Mm.
have to work with that energy. Like I always bring Mercury retrograde back to the African traditional concept of Sankofa, of going back to the past to retrieve those things that are useful and bringing them into the present moment. And so, Mercury retrograde allows us an opportunity to slow down, to go within, to revisit the old, right? Close out things that don't
Mhm.
necessarily belong, but to retrieve things that need to be brought into this present moment. And so here, we have the changing of seasons, right? Because we're moving into spring, which also coincides with the astrological new year. It reminds us that life is always changing, always cycling, always making room for new growth. And so this is a time where the collective field is gently encouraging expansion. And so it's not an expansion through force, right? It is an
Mhm.
expansion through this kind of openness and willingness to receive. And receivership is something that a lot of us have a hard time with. So
Mhm.
many of us have always been told, oh, it's better to give than to receive. No, it is best, it is imperative to be in balance, to balance receiving
Mhm.
with the giving. And so when we think about growth, we often think about effort, doing more, pushing more, striving more. But in many ancestral traditions, expansion was always understood as a capacity issue. We
Mm.
cannot expand if we don't have capacity. It's not only about what we can build or achieve, it's about what we can hold on to, what we can hold, right, and
Mhm.
expand, right? Can we hold joy without bracing for loss? Can we hold opportunity without doubting ourselves, right? Can we hold support without feeling unworthy? So, capacity, our ability to hold is very, very important to expansion. It's kind of the other half of the equation of expansion.
Mhm.
And so these moments in the sky, right, are inviting us to notice where we still contract when life begins to open. And so Pisces in particular, that energy dissolves these rigid boundaries, it softens defenses, and it encourages trust in unseen processes. And so softening again can feel unfamiliar, especially those of us who carry those ancestral survival patterns that we've been talking about for the
Mhm.
past couple weeks. Yeah, and so I'll ask you, Andy, about your capacity. Do you have you thought about this? Maybe you haven't, and it's okay if you haven't. Have you thought about with a lot of expansion going on in your life now, with your business expanding in new and exciting ways?
Mhm.
Have you thought about the capacity to hold those things? Right? How do we have capacity for that, or how do we expand our capacity for that?
I love that because, just listening into you, we all need to have the mindset to receive, not just give, give, give. And, the way I was brought up is always to give and we receive back great, right? But, I was not always expecting something back, right? And, I think it's very important, like you said, you have to have that balance, right? To be able to receive. And I was just going to ask you, so for all of us that's looking to receive, because we know we're receiving, but how do we get into that receiving mode so we get into that expansion? Because I know there's a lot of things happening for a lot of us. I got a lot of things going on, and it's almost like I need to expand myself just a little bit bigger, just blow that balloon up just a little bit bigger so I can take in all this expansion. And at some points it's sort of like, well, can I hold on anymore? I'm excited for it.
Right.
I'm just not quite sure how to hold it all, so I would love your guidance on that.
Yes, yeah. So, of course, I love to look at things through this ancestral lens because so much of that, so much of our capacity for receiving or our ability to receive is ancestrally situated. Like
Mhm.
what has been passed down to us in our lineage, as you said, like this
Right.
idea of always giving. So, our ancestors, they often lived in conditions where like receiving was uncertain, especially. Given just kind of different things that our ancestors have gone through diasporically, being globally dispersed, all of the changes that kind of have led us to being so spread out in the ways that we are, in beautiful ways, but ways
Mhm.
that have come with some challenge. And so support could be inconsistent, resources could disappear, right? Famine and all that had drove people from their land. Safety
Yes.
could not always be assumed. And so many of us, again, our nervous system is inherited. And
Mhm.
so much of our nervous system is skilled at endurance, right? Enduring, getting through, but less practice at receiving, right? So we pray
Mhm.
for change, we may work toward growth, but when goodness begins to arrive, we can feel overwhelmed,
Mhm.
suspicious, undeserving, right? I know
Mhm.
for me, it was for so long in my life, my most stressful times was when I had the most money.
Mm.
I'm braced for, I'm already rehearsing, like I'm already braced for, oh goodness, how could this go wrong, right? Or we even hear
Right.
more money, more problems. We have so much language around that, just kind of that
Yes.
survival, that suspicion. Again, as we talked about last week, that's not weakness, that's memory. And so understanding that and extending compassion to ourselves is very
Mhm.
important. But expanding our capacity to receive does require patience with ourselves, right? It requires honoring resilience while creating space for something new. We get to do something new. We may carry these kind of ancestral patterns in our nervous system, but we are allowed to have something new. And it requires practicing presence with moments of ease and not rushing past it. So here we're coming back to ease again. How do we
Right.
expand our capacity to receive? Rest, ease, pleasure, play. I can't
Mhm.
get away from these topics. Like they've been coming up. I do readings with clients, and this has been coming up for everyone. I mean, it's everyone, and even in my own kind of meditative time. Are we leaning into rest, ease, pleasure, and play? That is the only way to expand our capacity to receive. When we are constricted and living in survival, we cannot receive. Or any receiving that happens to us, any manifestation of money, abundance, opportunities that come out of that place of tension easily go. Like we can't hold it. So we release it even subconsciously, right? We'll sabotage the opportunity because we're so braced, we're so contracted.
Mhm.
It really is just no way around ease. Again, ease, rest, pleasure, and play. That is the only way to do that expansion. So talk to me. I mean, you asked the question, like, how does that feel to think about, like, oh my goodness, more ease, more rest, more pleasure, more play?
Yeah, I think out of the things you're talking about, the ease, more pleasure, more play, I think I need to channel into a little bit more play. It's like it's funny. I put a little video this morning of Fuji, my little kitten, playing in the kitchen. Like he was playing with the kitchen faucet. Seriously, it's not even a toy, but like it was so playful, and I was just throwing out there. It's like, I think a lot of us have forgotten how to play, and it's so important for longevity. And it's funny they talk about it, and I posted about it this morning how important being playful in your life is, and that's something that I probably haven't done as much lately, right? I do everything else, but I haven't found the time to be a little bit more playful. So
Yeah.
maybe getting a little bit more of that, finding something I enjoy to do, and play a little bit. I
Yeah.
love that idea.
Mhm. And bringing this idea of pleasure and play into our business endeavors, right? The
Hmm.
things about what do you enjoy about your business or your work, right? So we
Hmm.
can bring those things. We so long those things have been separate. We
Yes.
work and then we play.
Hmm.
But for those of us kind of on this entrepreneurial path, so many people are getting onto an entrepreneurial path.
Yes.
Like that kind of grit and grind, like that is not the way that this is going to work for us. It's particularly those of us who are in healing work, who are moving in a more soul aligned and kind of spirit led way. Like
Hmm.
this is the way of it. This is what our ancestors really understood. Like these altar practices, these herbs, like all of like those rituals that we just kind of thought was just weird. Like they understood there was something to it in terms of living our best lives. And so
Hmm.
I kind of want to shift to talk about how can we work with this season's energy. A lot of times the
Okay.
energy
Yeah.
is going on around us and we don't even stop to think about it, or much less work with it. Even something like Mercury retrograde, we'll know, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, and we just want to go and kind of bury our head in the sand or just kind of
Yes.
until it's over. But how can we work? How can we consciously work with the current energetic moment, especially thinking about expanding our capacity? The first thing
Hmm.
is creating these intentional pauses, right?
Mm.
The rest, the ease,
Yes.
right? New beginnings require space. I am opening my shop on Saturday.
I
Saturday.
love it.
You know what I did on Sunday and Monday? I was in bed all day. And I wasn't even like, because in my mind, I had stuff to do. I got tinctures to bottle. I got this. I got that. But my spirit, my ancestors, my Ori said rest. And you
Hmm.
know what? I rested.
Nice.
I rested. And yesterday, I finally felt kind of released to go into my space. And I did. And I set up inventory and all of that. And it was
Hmm.
so easeful. I had such clarity about where I wanted things to go. I wasn't moving in a frantic space. I wasn't tired. And I was thinking today, wow, I'm going to open on Saturday so well rested and so
Hmm.
grounded. The old version of Janine, oh, she would have been burnt out and crazy by then. Like, because how else do you open? I mean, like, you gotta be burnt out and crazy, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's no other way to do it. What? That's crazy. But again, that's ancestral programming that I have been
Mhm.
able to release. And so, new beginnings require space. And so, before filling your schedule or making major decisions, right, allowing time for reflection,
Mhm.
know what it is. We don't even allow things to sit. Notice where you contract,
Mhm.
right? We're thinking about expansion, right?
Mhm.
But when opportunities arise, observe your internal response. Like, do you feel excitement? Do you feel
Mhm.
fear? Do you feel self doubt? Like, awareness is the first step toward expansion. And as I mentioned, in the past, when I received large sums of money or something came in, I would immediately start contracting.
Mhm.
Now I'm learning to expand, allow the provision to sit,
Right.
allow my nervous system to acclimate to safety and ease, like that provision that comes with ease and not
Mhm.
now,
Mhm.
okay, I got to make this money work for me, right? Or I got to make
Right. Right.
it's a very different sensibility. But noticing, it took a long time for me to even notice that happened when I received. Um,
Mhm.
so how can I expand? How can the universe give me more? How can I manifest more if I contract? And
Right.
that contraction, then I go into survival mode. So I'm doing things like, oh, I need to pay all these bills, or oh, I need to. I'm sending the money out
Mhm.
because I can't hold it because
Correct. Correct. Correct.
received, right? So, and that sounds crazy. I would bet so many people who are watching pay attention to how you feel when money and resources come in
Mhm.
and how you will even subconsciously send it out because you don't have the capacity to hold it. Your nervous system can't hold it. So this is about if you're going to expand, you got to notice where you contract. And then the third thing is receiving in small ways. Accept help.
Mhm.
How many times did someone even offer to do one little thing for us? Oh, I got it. Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm fine. Okay, right, sure. You could handle it yourself. I'm sure you are fine. But why not allow it?
Mhm.
Why not allow it? Rest when you need to, right? I spent 2 days in bed. Clearly, my body needed it. Allow yourself to enjoy moments of beauty without guilt.
Mhm.
These small acts kind of teach our nervous system that receiving is safe. And
Right.
the more safe it feels, the more expansive it feels, and it can magnetize these opportunities and resources and also hold them
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
multiply them.
I love that.
Yeah, so talk back to me a little bit, Andy. I know this is I am on this. Like, this is the message. Like, I just feel it. I felt it so strongly. I'm witnessing it. I'm living it. I'm experiencing it. This is living wisdom that I'm sharing. This isn't theory
Mhm.
at all. This is in the moment how I'm living and experiencing life, and it's beautiful.
That is so true. What you said a couple of things that sort of hit me, and I said, "Wow, I'm actually doing it without even thinking about doing it." One of them is like you said, everyone always is looking for money to come in, right? They hold on to it, they don't want to spend it, right? And they don't want help, right? I can do it all myself. I can do it all myself. And recently it's sort of like, well, yeah, there's a lot of things I can do myself, but I'm not an expert at everything, right? So even coaches need coaches, right? I just literally hired a business coach to help me, expand my business. And I got to tell you what he asked for the first 6 months. you know, my insight says there's no freaking way I'm paying for that, right? And then I just sort of sat down and thought about it. Well, all the stuff he's talking about, I don't know any of it. For me to try and learn that with the limited capacity I already have for time, there's no way I'm going to learn it. And it's like, this is value,
Yes.
right? And it's like, and when at the end of the day, it's like, I thought about for 10 minutes. I said, look, I think this is great value. Take my money. Like, I was happy giving away the money because of the value coming back to expand my capacity, right? Because that is something I would not have been able to do myself. And just, it's funny because as coaches, we're always coaching others, But when you're sitting behind being coached by another person, it's like, wow, is this how people feel when we're coaching them? You get these aha moments,
Yeah.
It's really quite amazing. And I think, when it comes to coaches for all of us, either us being coached to others or us being coached by others, it is really important because we are never, we don't know everything.
Right.
Right. And, we're always learning. And I think that's where the excitement is, right? For us to build our capacity, you need to learn more, but you don't know it all. So you have to learn from someone else. And like I said, everything that you're talking is just sort of like going lock and step of everything that's going on with me. And this is not something I would have done 10, 12, 15 years ago. Now it's like I'm in that space. It's like, yeah, I'm willing to pay for that specialty. I'm willing to pay for that help to get me to where I need to be.
And that's so right. And so you're expanding your capacity, and even the idea of investing in your
Mhm.
growth and development,
Yes.
investing in your expansion, right?
Hmm.
Because expansion does require an investment. It requires
Yes.
investment in terms of our time and intention, our rest and our ease, but then also our resources, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, yes, I think about opening my space on Saturday and, having to put the money out for,
Hmm.
for different, but even again, that has been interesting in that instead of that bracing for lack and, and tightness, it is like, okay, what do I want to create in this space? How do I want people to
Hmm.
feel? Okay, let me put these resources out because it is expanding me, right?
Correct.
I now have this space to welcome people in, and the
Hmm.
work and this soul calling that I have, I have greater capacity for that. And
Right.
even like people are asking me, can I use your space, right? Oh, do you
Hmm.
offer workshop? Like so even, but again, if I'm tight, if I'm contracted, if I'm fearful of having to spend any money, if I'm already thinking, oh, I'm already biting off, a big thing to open up my own
Hmm.
space. Well, let me contract. No, I have been guided to be so expansive. It blows my mind because this isn't how I typically am. But again, it's an opportunity for me to witness and practice my healing. I've done work
Yes.
to clear those things out of my lineage. I've done work to heal and build my nervous system in a new way. And so now I have these opportunities to, okay,
Hmm.
are you going to contract or are you going to expand? And I am expanding.
Yes. I'm expanding with you, Jeanine.
Yes, yes. So this works. This works. And so for those of you who are watching and witnessing like this, we are talking in real time. Andy and I both have expanded in a very tangible way, business
Hmm.
wise. And if you know anything about the entrepreneurial life, it works on you more than anything.
Yes.
The version of you that you need to be, the things you
Hmm.
have to release to even show up as an ancestral medicine woman or as a longevity expert
Hmm.
or insert title here. It really is a journey of your own kind of self and soul development. And so, we're kind of getting close to time, so I'm going to start kind of winding us down and
No
wrapping us up here. But the season is asking for us to trust that life is not only about surviving. Like, I feel like if there's anything that I feel so strongly that we need to shift, and what has shifted in me, and what I will never go back to, is this being in survival. It's about allowing new experiences to enter. You can, New experiences don't come into closed spaces.
Hmm.
New resources can't come if you're so tightly hoarding and holding what you already have.
Right.
Again, that's based in lack and scarcity. Newness can't thrive there. And so, an expansion, too, the beautiful thing, it's not always dramatic. It is simply the willingness to to stay open a little longer, like the ways that we soften and we open it up. And so one thing that I have been led to really offer, and a lot of people have been taking advantage of this, is like for those who are navigating this period of transition, because this isn't just any old spring or any old Mercury retrograde. Like this is a threshold moment for so many people. And so if
Hmm.
you're seeking clarity or wanting support in understanding kind of the patterns that are shaping you, like I have been offering 25-minute focused ancestral readings. And those sessions are like designed to provide grounded insight, intuitive guidance, and like space to reflect as you move through change. As Andy was talking about, is even the coaches need coaches. I get readings. I have people I go to. I have people who support me through these threshold moments, and so you can learn more, on my website, and connecting with me after this live. But there's so much that is opening for us, and we can allow it to be so. We can build our capacity. Um, yeah, like I feel that like maybe I'm channeling even a little bit here. Bear with me. Like I feel like there are people who feel like, oh, it'll never work, it'll never change, it'll never. You must allow it to be so. Right?
Hmm.
You can allow it, like things can't just bombard your life in terms of goodness. You have to allow it to be so. All right. So if you want more, please connect with me. This is Living Lineage, where ancestral wisdom meets the present moment. What you just experienced is the wisdom of our ancestors today, right
Hmm.
here. Important, potent for now. And so I'll see you all next Wednesday. I hope that you enjoy what's going on cosmically, these transits and all of that. Work with the energy and build your capacity, expand your capacity to receive. There's no limits. The only limit is us. Yeah. Healing doesn't begin in the body, it begins in the spirit. I'm Dr. Jeanine L. Williams, founder of Ancestors Bosom, a sacred space for spiritual and ancestral remembrance. Through intuitive guidance and energy work, I help you reconnect with your highest self and align your spirit, mind, and body with the rhythm of your ancestors. Together, we listen for what your spirit needs. We release what no longer serves you. We restore balance and open the path to peace, clarity, and purpose. My work is supported by spiritual herbalism, plant allies that ground and nourish your transformation. Every session is a ceremony of remembrance, a return home to yourself. Ancestors Bosom, where healing begins with remembrance. Visit AncestorsBosom.com and begin your journey home.